What's up, guys? I don't normally do this, and also the costume's gonna make sense in a second. Just calm down. But I had to come on here and do a face-to-face disclaimer here because what you're about to watch is probably the most dangerous, most disgusting content you'll ever watch. There is a lot of false medical claims. Let's just say that these people we're going to be watching today have a lot of blood on their hands. I guarantee it. Do not take anything that these people are saying for any reason and believe that there's any truth in anything that they're saying. I'm telling you right now, they are quacks. They are liars. Nothing they are saying is true or real. This is disgusting. This is dangerous. They are not good people. You should not listen to them. And with that being said, please enjoy the video. What's up, wave makers? It's me, Mommy Suna. Are you ready for a boo update? Because I'm not. Me and my genetic dark circles are just over here like, bleh. That's because, you know, obviously there's a reason for it, and that's because today's video is sponsored by Shapermint. The Savannah Shapermint is for shapewear. Well, yes, but you see, Shapermint sent me a mystery box. Now, I do happen to know that there is going to be a little like Halloween costume kind of thing in here for me to put together for you guys, but I don't know what it is. It's a mystery, so I'm gonna do my makeup along with whatever's in this box. So y'all ready? Are y'all ready? Oh, this is gonna be perfect. You know why this is gonna be perfect? Because a lot of people on MLMs think that we're Satan. Ooh, your girl's gonna dress up as a little spicy devil. But what else is in this mystery box, Shapermint, huh? What you got for me, huh? They sent me a little card. It says, calling all baddies. Ooh, am I a baddie? Since the devil's in the details, we've gathered our best sellers paired with Halloween essentials to get you through the season from Shapermint. Ooh, treat or treat. No tricks, only treats. First, we have a scoop neck cami. Yes, baby. Oh my God, wait, are these stickers? Hang on. That's one thing I wasn't expecting. Cute. I'll obviously try all these on for you guys so you can see, but we have a cami. This is a shaper cami. Ooh, guys, it's really like soft and smooth and obviously stretchy. Do you see this shit? Yes. We have a daily comfort wire-free shaper bra, which I have one of these already, but yes, please send me more Shapermint. I love the one that I already have. Great bra. Here we have high-waisted shaping leggings. I also have a pair of these already. Again, they're fabulous. Nice and stretchy, nice and smooth. And tear-proof shaping tights. Ooh, I'm not a big tight wearer, although for Halloween, I might be. Oh, damn. Oh my God. Oh, these are nice. These ain't tearing, no freaking way. Let's try them on. Let me tell you a little bit about Shapermint. They create, you guessed it, shapewear with the mission to see confident, empowered women live life to the fullest and celebrate their curves. Listen, everybody's body is already perfect, but speaking from experience after having 2 babies, sometimes I need help seeing that. Actually, a lot of times I need help seeing that personally. Shapermint makes me feel confident and helps me ditch the stress of worrying about the way my clothes fit. To me, it really just enhances what's already there while still providing comfort. And these guys are gonna stay where you put them all day thanks to their no slip strip and high compression level. Shapermint is a community rooted in inclusivity, and they have a 100% confidence guarantee. And what better time to try Shapermint than now during spooky season? Treat yourself and make this season the most spectacular one yet. And Shapermint is so chill that they're giving you, my audience, a special discount just in time for Halloween. Click my link down below and use the code SavannahTreat20, all one word, to score 20% off your Shapermint order. Thanks again, Shapermint, for sponsoring this video and for helping me feel confident. Now it's time to get into some juicy boo dirt. Boo! Oh my God, it's spooky season. We're talking about Halloween and an MLM that goes by Boo. The stars are all aligning. All right, let's sit back down and let's do this. Well, that was fun. Yes, I'm gonna film the whole video in this costume. I should wear this costume every video. By the way, I have a White Claw. I just went downstairs to grab one and I was like, I'm gonna open one from the camera. Apparently I couldn't wait because I already opened it. I bought the legit White Claw this time. Last time I bought Bud Light seltzer. It was not a fucking seltzer. It was gross. This shit, come on. It's what's up. All right, September 19th, 2021. It's a day to remember. Black Oxygen Organics CEO Mark St. Ange appeared on a podcast. Now this video was sent to me in the group chat where we're all trying to take down Boo, like within a few days of it being posted, and I forgot all about it. And then I remembered all about it yesterday, and I was like, oh shit, yeah, I do need to film a reaction video to this because listen, let me tell you, the only part of this that I've watched is the intro, and the intro made me like nearly piss my pants. Like it is that bad. So I stopped it and I was like, I have to watch this in front of a camera, dude. Also, yeah, I'm not taking that down. There's a lot of work to get up there in the first place. I'll take it down later. I brought out the green screen because I was like, people are gonna want to know how much effort I put into this sponsorship. So I hope you're happy. Nah, I'm good. It was fun. But yes, let me remind you that this video was posted less than a month ago. And I think the reason that's particularly important is because if you've been following along with the whole Boo situation, you know that Mark has been, well, not just Mark, all of his accomplices in corporate Boo land have all been trying to cover up their tracks, basically, after years and years and years of digging themselves into a fucking Boo hole. And now we're just digging up more and more shit. Like, I don't know when this was filmed. Let me see if it has a date on here, because sometimes it does. No, it doesn't look like it, although maybe I don't know where to look for it. Anyway, from what I've been told, a lot of the stuff that they've been trying to backtrack on, literally right here, Mark St. Ange, a few weeks ago, said everything we're about to hear. But I get the feeling it's gonna be a wild ride, hence the White Claw. Also, my children are with their grandma right now. I'm home alone. I don't have to worry about being a mom. That's why the White Claw's here. But of course, before we click play, make sure you remember to leave your like, and then at any point in the video, please leave me a comment. It helps the algorithm, helps get more eyes on my content, and I appreciate it so much. Oh, also subscribe if you haven't already. What are you doing? Okay, ready? We're clicking play, we're clicking play, we're gonna do it. You ready, Pop-Tart? That wasn't loud enough. They can't hear you. Thank you.
I saw people roll in with wheelchairs and crutches and a week after would walk out and be fine. And I said, wow, this is cool, man. And so we started using it.
Okay, I'm pretty sure that's all I've watched of his so far. I believe in my original Boo video, Mark was saying this same exact thing, and I called him out for it because that is a very big lie to tell to people to try to get them to buy your product, aka eat your dirt. Oh yeah, I should have mentioned that in the first place. If you haven't been keeping up with the Boo debacle, I'll post all my videos down below. You really should watch all those and get caught up first because there's a lot.
So I got to tell you, thank you for being available so quick. And you've been popping up, Black Auction's been popping up for a while for me now, for like the last week. Almost like every day it's been popping up, and I've been hearing people and looking at different blogs. I'm going to be looking into these folks and see what's going on.
Oh, wow.
And then I'm reading the benefits and like, for example, on the website, the 14 great reasons to take Black Auction for the rest of your life.
But real quick, I just want to point out, he was like, thanks for being open so quick. And Mark's like, yeah. I just picture Mark like having nothing to do in his life. Like he's just sitting in his house. Is that a treadmill sitting in front of his closet there? He's just like, yeah, Scott, I've just been running on my treadmill for 3 months straight. So I guess I could hop on a Zoom call with you. What else am I gonna do? The FDA is holding all my product. Health Canada recalled everything. I basically don't have a business right now, so let's chat. He was just saying something about the 14 reasons why you should take Boo the rest of your life. The 14 reasons why you should eat dirt for the rest of your life.
One of the items that I really play with is matrix energetics and the holographic body and what it does and what it needs, and it's very cool. So when I combined this tech with a couple others, it was lights out. It was game changing. I was like, wow.
Absolutely.
Wow.
I went from an orthotherapist by trade, treating muscular skeletal problems. And when I got involved in this mud, the whole energy side, which is, the philosophy of mind, body, and soul, which is holistic,
Mm-hmm.
I really dug into it, and I just, I was passionate about it, and it just became me.
He really dug into that mud. Yeah, I wonder if we're just gonna hear the same old, like, regurgitated shit he says in every video we've ever watched of him, but he calls himself a kinesiotherapist, I believe, and as impressive as that sounds, it's really not that much to be impressed by. It's basically, like, akin to chiropractor status, but by no means is he, like, a doctor.
Like me and the mud, there's no separation. It's just, it's a combination.
Wait, me and the mud, there's no separation. Mark is unironically, quite literally, a mud man. So, like, when he goes on all of these interviews and stuff and self-proclaims himself as the mud man, he's not joking. He's literally sitting here being like, there is no difference between me and mud. Okay.
It really is a passion of mine for the last 37 years. And the treatments I've done physically and energetically, like when we talk about a body and its energies and how it flows and how we get it's just amazing. I mean, I remember when it just comes to mind where I used to bottle mud in this small bottle. And I used to go on stage and say, let's show you the power and let's do a muscle testing. People didn't believe me. How
Isn't the muscle testing absolutely amazing? Your body goes weak and they're like, and it's like, go ahead, try to resist. And it just falls down. Yep. And then all of a sudden you hold something like this and you can do a pull-up off of their arm. It's amazing.
Hang on. I don't know what they're referring to here, but it doesn't seem to me like rubbing mud all over yourself or taking a mud bath is going to make it so that you can do a pull-up off of another human's arm. Or vice versa, whatever it is they're talking about. If I go like this, is someone going to like, I can do a pull-up. Like, look at how strong you are holding up my body weight. It's like, there's no fucking way. And if people are claiming that this is a thing, like, that has to be a mental thing, right? There's no way your body is reacting to fucking mud like that.
A lot of, the people who didn't believe, I said, come on up stage. And then I had a bottle with cigarette in with water. So you have the same weight. And I'd blindfold them. And I'd hold the bottle with a cigarette and say, okay, hold on. Boom, and she'd just fall. And I'd put in the mud. And I say, show everybody, see this? And I put it in their hands, and she would like stiffen up and say, "Oh my god!" It's like a religious thing there. Everybody was like believer, but I mean, it was like kind of cool to do that to show that it's not me. It's actually the product.
This sounds like a cult. Like, I don't know what he's talking about or where they do this shit outside of like a church or any other kind of cult for that matter. I gotta say, sounds suspicious. Something's a little fishy. Mark, are you really here to tell me that a bottle of water with a cigarette in it holds so much negative energy that your body is just going to like not be able to hold it up because it's so bad? But then your mud pulled from a bog right next to a fucking landfill. Oh no, that's not tainted at all, right? Allegedly. Dude, I will question it time and time again. I really don't think that this shit is nearly as pure or whatever as Mark wants to say it is.
It creates more frequency in your body and strengthens it. And that for me opened up all the spirituality, the energy medicine, and I went on trips. I went to Peru and I did all the spiritual things, and it was kind of cool for me to develop the chakras and became a Reiki master and doing all that just for that part. It's so yeah. So you got the physical. Mm-hmm. The mud part and what it does, and then you have the spiritual, and then of course you've got the energies and the frequency of the body. So
it doesn't surprise me that Mark is one of these guys, right? Shouldn't surprise any of us, really. I've never heard him talk about it this way. And listen, I don't think there's anything wrong with like being a spiritual person. Listen, I've wanted to like get into crystals and stuff. Like, I think that stuff is really cool, but don't at me. I think it's cool, and I think it's cool to be spiritual, but as long as you're not using it to treat or cure or anything like that, even if it's all in your mind, even if it's all just like feng shui or whatever. I don't understand feng shui either, but even if it just makes you feel good looking at those crystals or smelling your essential oils or whatever the fuck it is. I like the feeling I get when I go into those like crystal shops and stuff like that. I think it's cool, but that's pretty much the extent of it. I would totally have crystals on display in my house. I think they're pretty and it would make me feel good. Feng shui, right? But when it gets to the point where you're saying that a mud and its frequencies are making your muscles react so distinctly different while it's holding a bottle of mud as opposed to holding a bottle of water and a cigarette. I mean, how many cigarettes are in that landfill that's right next to the bog, Mark? I bet there's a lot of them. And what's in a bog? Water. There's a lot of it. So like, what? This just makes no sense. You cannot say that fucking mud has this kind of effect on people. Like, factually. You can't say that. He's talking about it like it's factual, but it's just not.
We did the whole spiritual journey from Cusco up to Machu Picchu. and we were somewhere in doing a vortex and meditating, and we were talking about our totems, and mine was an eagle, and he says, "You got no more feathers." I said, "What the hell are you talking about?" He says, "You're done." I went through life where, I had this great success, and then I went bankrupt and lost everything. And so, it kind of hits your ego and says, "Well, and that's where I went on this spiritual journey." He says, "You got to get your wings back," and that was the journey. Is heal, get your ego in check, and keep going. You get your resilience back and keep going. And that journey brought me to starting over and continuing my quest of all this and going forward. So
I love the fact that you just throw it out there like it was a meaningful event for you versus how most people would think of an event like that in your life, bankruptcy as like a burden and everything else, but you're looking at it as a positive because it was transformational for you. You can see it right through you.
I wonder when that bankruptcy was, though. Was this like in between Golden Moor and New Water, or was this before Golden Moor? I'd be curious to know.
Changed my life.
Wow, that's fantastic. All right. So I want to just dive right in. Everyone, welcome back. Another episode of Healthcare 360. That
was a weird transition.
What happened right now. So for the last week, Black Oxygen Organics kept coming up, and I kept seeing little testimonials or some friends of mine. I were like, "Hey, have you checked this out?" So I said, "No." So let me look into it. And then no water, no life, period. And then looking at everything that I've been reading so far about Black Oxygen, everyone knows, I'm very much into energy, and the frequency was just vibrating exceptionally high. And I said, let me look into this. So I started reading, and I was like, wow. We did some testing with it, and it was just off the charts.
Oh, wait, he's got a kitty. I mean, I'm assuming that's a cat's tail, right? I hope we get to see the kitty, like more than just its tail.
So it's the 30th. On the 29th at like 8 p.m., I reached out to the president, Carlo, and I said, "Hey, I'm just in love with what I've read so far. What do you say? Would you come on the show?"
Wait, so this guy hasn't even tried Boo for himself yet, and he's just like, "I gotta have this guy on the show." So he says the 30th. I wonder if he means August 30th, because this was released September 19th. I mean, that was still kind of in the midst of all the Boo shit popping up. When did I post my first Boo video? Sorry about my dogs. My husband is home. He just pulled into the driveway, and now my dogs are freaking out. I'm trying to cyberbully! That was a joke. I published it on August 27th. So this guy reached out to Carlo Giabaldi or some shit. So yeah, that would have been after my video came out. Depending on when this interview was actually filmed, like Illuminati's video was probably out. I know Boo is Woo was definitely going because I researched Boo for like a few weeks before I made my video. So like Boo is Woo, the Facebook group, that was already up and going. Somehow, I'm assuming Carlo reached out to Mark and was like, "Hey man, it would be a good idea to go make a bunch of health claims on this random ass podcast. Good idea. Oh, hi, Pop-Tart. I love you." She's like, "Fuck you, Mom."
And it was just really, really quick. And then Carlo wrote back probably within like 30 minutes after and says, "You know something, I'd love to, but you got to have Mark on because how he's going to explain it
what are these
is going to be next level." I said, "Perfect." Then this morning it was like on the 30th, we're ready to go.
Wait, hold on. He says the 30th. I'm assuming August 30th. So the same day he reached out to Carlo, Carlo was like, "Yeah, sure, Mark will be available." The CEO, founder, creator of our fucking company, yeah, he can get on a Zoom with you immediately. Not to mention, not to follower shame or anything like that, but this guy's got 18,000 subscribers. Like, that's not a significant amount of subscribers. Not to say that my nearly 50K is significant, because I still feel like that's not even that significant either. But 18K to me, I'm like, if you're the CEO of a company who is clearly in the news for a bunch of shit, wouldn't you want to say this kind of stuff on a more reputable platform? Yeah, I don't think this guy sounds reputable at all. Make it make sense.
Let's do it. And I couldn't have been as excited. This is absolutely amazing. So Mark, really appreciate your time. Thank you for jumping on so quick. And I got to tell you, like, I am in love what I'm reading and seeing so far, and I haven't even heard the story yet, so I can't wait for the story.
This motherfucker puts in so little effort and research into his podcast. He doesn't even know Mark's story. And Mark has screamed it from the rooftops fucking everywhere he goes. We've heard his story a bazillion times. This guy can't even be asked to, I don't know, research just for like 5 minutes about the company. He's just like, oh, my friend told me this is good. Hey, CEO, you want to be on my podcast? Oh, yeah, it only has 78 views, which is very low engagement. I mean, maybe his podcast gets more listeners somewhere else. I don't know. Regardless, the whole thing is weird. The fact that a CEO of a company is able to jump on a podcast the same day he's asked, don't you have like important CEO things to be doing? Something's fishy, man.
Walk us through, man. And then we'll dive in. There's some things I definitely want to play with here that are really interesting to me. But how did it all begin?
37 years ago. So this is not new to me. Trained as an orthotherapist, really, and holistic health was something that combination of treatments and figuring out what I wanted to do in my life. And my mother had an aesthetic school, and she was doing aesthetics. And she said to me one day, "Hey, body treatments. Let's get into body treatments." And in the 80s, aesthetics were just treating face. And so you said body. Oh, okay. That means going into massage and doing body treatments. Oh, cool. So she sent me off to different countries, and we discovered these types of muds that we wanted to do body treatments. And I discovered this from a Dr. Adlish in Germany, who was treating people with mud, this black mud. So we went to a sanatorium and we had treatments for a week, and I saw people roll in with wheelchairs and crutches, and a week after would walk out and be fine. And I said, wow, this is cool, man. And so we started using it.
That's all you had to say about people who have a physical disability and are unable to walk, roll into a building and soak in some mud for a while, and then suddenly they can walk, and all you have to say is, wow, this is really cool. Shit, I'd be saying some Hail Marys right then. Like, damn, Mark. Come on, Mark. I mean, maybe if you really truly believe in like the whole holistic medicine thing as much as he probably does, maybe it's just like, oh yeah, I mean, I knew this shit was possible. So this mud, man, it's weird.
So when you're walking into the mud, what like symptoms were people showing in the physiology at that time?
Yes, make those health claims.
Joint pain, things like that.
It was like, all the muscular skeletal problems, like talking about arthritis and rheumatism and osteoporosis and, lumbago and all those muscular skeletal problems that are created by, all the deficiencies. And so when we see all of these, we usually take drugs to get rid of the pain. But these people were actually eating mud, wrapping themselves in mud, bathing in mud, getting massage and stretching. And it was really holistic. And it was like going through a total cleanse. And I said, we got to bring this back to Canada. And so from there, I met a gentleman by the name of Yves Paré, who was doing orthotherapy, holistic.
Why did he put that in quotes? Isn't orthotherapy just like by nature a holistic thing? Maybe I'm wrong. Or did he mean to be like, yeah, he was an orthotherapist? Like, I'm sure he was.
I got involved with him, and I took his training for 3 years, and I became an orthotherapist. And then I opened my clinic in Ottawa, and my specialty was arthritis and rheumatism. And in those days, I was an alternative practitioner. I wasn't, I was, illegal. You couldn't practice holistic medicine in those days.
So he's admitting to pretty much be practicing medicine without a license? Is that what he's saying? Because he's saying he was breaking the law. It was illegal to practice holistic medicine under the guise of, I'm a doctor and this is medicine. Like, yeah, it's pretty illegal. Are you admitting to that, Mark? Meanwhile, he's on his fucking Zoom calls telling women he should douche with his stuff. Like, oh yeah, sounds like a really good guy to be listening to. He definitely knows his shit. All of it can be treated with mud, baby.
Isn't that amazing? If you don't have a payment system for it, you can't practice it, right?
I was charged for practicing illegal medicine back in 1989, and $20,000 fine in those days, and so, but I fought it, and then my clinic went underground. I had a referral program and and everything was underground for me to continue practicing orthotherapy. But
he's literally admitting that in order for him to continue to give people mud baths and practice on them holistically, medicinally, he had to do it all under the table because what he was doing was illegal. Holy shit! Now this is part of the story I've never heard.
But, as I said earlier, resilience. I believed in what I was doing. I was getting results, and I continued. But the way I was doing it is I was putting this mud in Ziploc bags, and I was giving them to my patients. The patients would come in on a Monday, and I'd give them enough bathing for 2 days, come back on Wednesday, and they would say, wow, this is kind of cool, Mark. I've got no more pain. I need some for my wife. I need some for my uncle. I need some for my friend. And it became to a point where I was bottling or putting mud, 500 little bags of these every month. And I said, geez, maybe we can bottle this stuff.
Because Ziploc bags just aren't enough. Let's get some fucking bottles. Dude, you were already doing stuff under the table.
And so, my entrepreneurial side kicked in and started researching bogs in Canada, because we were importing the mud from Germany that had, 9 and 11% humic acid. And that's the ingredient we look at. It's the humic and fulvic acid. And so I researched, 63 bogs in Canada to discover this one in Moose Creek that had 36%.
He said it! He said it! Mark said it! Okay, you heard it. You heard it less than a month ago, or I guess a little over a month ago, I guess is when this was filmed, assuming that the 30th meant the 30th of August. He said Moose Creek. He said Moose Creek. Did he say the Alfred Bog? Did he say in Alfred? No. He said Moose Creek. And what's in Moose Creek? Oh, the Moose Creek Bog. And what's the Moose Creek Bog next to? Oh, a landfill. That landfill that Mark likes to claim is 25 miles away from the bog he extracts his shit from. Dude, at this point, I'm like, why are we even arguing this anymore? Why are all of the boo reps arguing this? There is so much evidence to say that it was not the Alfred Bog. Mark just keeps spewing it out of his pie hole. Whoever is like his PR guy is probably just like, fuck it, Mark, god damn it, Mark. They're so mad at him. Although, maybe no one ever thought that anyone would see this podcast. I mean, they're not a huge podcast. Put this guy on Joe Rogan and then maybe we've got an issue. But like Scott, whatever the fuck, Healthcare 360, whatever. No one's ever heard of this. Wow. I'm surprised this video is still up, honestly. I was half expecting when I came back to it that Boo would have come to this Scott guy and been like, hey man, we either need you to take the video down or like chop it the fuck up. How can you get away with this? How does Mark even still have a company at this point? Insert foot in mouth 7,000 times at this point. Probably more.
Wow.
Yeah, so I said, wow, exactly what I said.
Now, have you ever did any like historical searches on that type of therapy before? So what did that show then? So I'm sure if you found it today, now it has to have been some kind of history behind that.
The history behind this bog is this is the Ottawa Valley. This used to be Champlain Ocean after the Ice Age. So this valley is very rich in peat moss. Peat moss is the black earth we use for our gardens and our agricultural growth, right?
Yep.
But if we go further down in the peat, you got the bogs, which has the water levels and it goes down deep. And so where we extract, we still have the mineral springs from this Champlain Ocean coming from the Atlantic Ocean because we're on the St. Lawrence Seaway. So geographically, it's pristine because there's no population. I mean, if we talk about 50,000 people in a radius of 100 miles, that's about it.
Yeah.
So it's very pure. And so my idea was to extract this mud.
It's very pure, even though it's catty corner to a landfill. Are we not going to talk about that, Mark? You will never, ever admit to that, will you? I mean, geographically, you look on a map and it's right there. It's right there for everyone to see. But Mark will never admit to it, no.
So we got the extraction right back in 1992. And then it took me 2 years to develop machinery and bottling facilities and start up the mud business. But at that point, we were doing quite a bit. We were selling millions of dollars of bottles all over the world. We exported in 17 different countries. And I grew with the spa market. And I started training practitioners, therapists, physiotherapists, estheticians on doing physical treatment with this mud.
So then why wouldn't you have just stayed with it? Like, it sounds like you had a pretty decent company made off of that alone. And in a more respectable line of work, too. Like, training estheticians and, I don't know, massage therapists and stuff how to use your dirt. That is a little bit more ethical than a multi-level marketing company. Still, like, selling dirt to anyone, it makes you question things, huh? But still, why would he change to an MLM? Maybe he'll tell us.
And then in 2008, I raised $2 million and I brought the company public and sold it off and retired. And I said, oh, this is kind of cool. And after you play golf 3 times a day for three months, you say, I got to do something else. And so the idea for me was to take the mud and be able to drink it. And to do that, you need the extraction of the fulvic and humic from the peat, from the pulp.
Yeah.
And so I took, a couple of years to try to develop that. And finally, in 2015, we were able to isolate the humic and fulvic and then bring it into a freeze-dried process, like a lyophilization. That's what they call it.
Mm-hmm.
And then make a product out of it. And then we launched a drinkable product that we put in a cap. And then the cap was on a bottle, and you press on the cap, and the fulvic, which is black, goes into the water, and the water turns black, and it was like cool, it's like cool. But that kind of flopped because we're selling water, and we were.
I got to tell you, you do have a sexy name, Black Oxygen. I mean,
yeah,
that is an amazing name. Yeah. It really is great marketing.
But there's a reason behind it because this fulvic is carbon, oxygen, and hydrogen.
Mm-hmm.
And so when this powder hits the water, it creates more oxygen cells, oxygen molecules.
Did he just say oxygen cells? I mean, I know he corrected himself. He's like molecules, but it's like, if you have been in this industry for 37 years, isn't that what he said? 37 years? There's a difference between cells and molecules, right? Like, I'm an idiot and I know that. This guy is a joke.
And that's why it's black oxygen. When you drink it, it increases the oxygen level in your body.
That's a health claim, and I'm pretty sure that's never been proven scientifically. I don't think you can say that happens.
Yeah, that's going to go one to my first questions here, because on the website, out of the 14 great reasons that you identify, I went right to reduces oxidative stress. Right there. That's it. Right there. And we had a doctor, Dr. Thomas Levy on, yep. And it was episode 91. And he was talking about oxidative stress and how to overcome leaky gut and oxidative.
That book cover that they just showed, oh, I don't want to go near that shit. Did you see that? Oh my God. Fast virus recovery. Wow, I wonder if he came out with that before or after the pandemic. Yeah, you can't say after yet because we're still in it, huh? Wow, what a way to monetize a fucking worldwide tragedy, guy. And this goes for everyone who's doing that shit. Fuck.
Stress at large using nebulized hydrogen peroxide. And so I read his book and all the protocols that he established with ozone.
Nebulizing the hydrogen peroxide thing is a new thing that all these anti-vaxxers are doing. I think because they all ran out of ivermectin. You can't buy ivermectin anywhere else, so they had to find a new thing to do, and so that's what they're doing now. They're literally like nebulizing hydrogen peroxide and fucking breathing it in, thinking that cures COVID. I wonder if the guy he's talking about, is he the one who started that shit? Because that's dangerous. There is no science behind that. We know that, right? I feel like I'm about to, this is gonna get bad, guys. This is gonna get bad and I might start raging. I'm just gonna give you a fair warning. We're a pro-science community here, and the way this guy even just like started his sentence talking about like nebulizing hydrogen peroxide, I'm like, oh fuck, here we go. I swear, if Mark says anything about COVID in regards to Boo, I'm going to just shit my pants and fly all the way to the moon. With the sheer force of my shit hitting the ground, and I will like a rocket ship. Okay.
And it was utterly amazing. So me having a biohacking type of a framework in mind, I'm like, okay, what if you combine certain things? And this is why with the nebulized hydrogen peroxide, the water, by structurally coherently tying your water back together, combined with black oxygen, This is what I'm really excited to try and combine all together.
Is he saying he's going to mix black oxygen organics in with hydrogen peroxide and then nebulize that? I mean, shit, if you already think that doing that without Boo kills COVID, then what is gonna happen if you throw this magic dirt into it? Are you gonna suddenly just become God? Are you going to be just fucking immortal? Because by the way you people talk about it, this sounds like it's going to just be a little bit too much. But this is the shit that Big Pharma doesn't want you to know, right? Oh my God.
Everything's in relationship too. So again, when I saw that, I was like, man, they're onto something. They got to see something there.
Yeah. So oxidative stress is oxidization of the cell. So there's a mixture of why we oxidize, which is normal. I mean, when a cell reproduces, it creates a waste. Call them free radicals. And if your system doesn't eliminate that waste, guess what? It stays in your adipose tissue, and that's where you create a sick cell and less energy.
Yep.
And less alkalinity, which is a big cause. I mean, we have acid diets, acid environment, toxic waste is acid, everything's acid.
Yeah.
And so you need to alkalize your body.
Can I just say, and listen, I am not a doctor or a scientist, so this is just me speaking on this in a way that I understand it, because it makes fucking sense, right? So all these people who talk about the alkaline diets, getting rid of the acid, if that happened, you would fucking die, my guy. What's that that's in your stomach? Fucking stomach acid? Oh, that's right. There's a lot of parts of your body that need to be acidic, that by nature need to be acidic. So if you were to change the pH balance of all of those things, you're gonna fucking die, my guy.
And one of the ways to do it is create oxygen.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have more oxygen in the body, you reduce oxidization. You don't reduce the production of cells. You need to create healthy cell. So what this fulvic does is internally, as soon as you put it in the water you drink it, that water contains more oxygen. That's number one. But number two, fulvic is a nanotechnology. It's very minute. It's 0.001 microns. So when you ingest it, it has the ability to go into the cell membrane and stimulate the furnace of each cell, which is the mitochondria.
Hang on. So now all of our cells have a built-in furnace in all of them. Wow. Did you guys know that you have trillions and bajillions of little tiny furnaces all over your body? That's amazing.
Uh-huh.
And so when I stimulate the mitochondria, I boost the energy level. That's where you get the frequency level. That's where you create the awareness of the body. And so when that happens, you're able to create a healthy cell.
Is anyone else following this from a logical perspective? Because I am not. And anyone who believes in this shit would probably just be like, well, Savannah, that's because you're an idiot. And I would have to say, yes, you're right, but I think even an idiot can say that none of this shit makes sense. What is he saying?
Fulvic is alkaline. It's like 9.0 on the scale.
Isn't it called fulvic acid? But it's alkaline. But it's fulvic acid. Huh. Funny.
You just said a magic word, though. You said it's 1 micron and
001.
001. So now, I'm not going to say the word because I don't feel like dealing with YouTube and all the other meatheads that are out there. But that word that we're all dealing with right now,
COVID,
which is only, I think it's 0.5, which is that the fulvic is definitely way smaller. This is eradicating that.
Absolutely. Well, we have
this motherfucker. Here we go. They said that fulvic acid cures coronavirus. They danced around it so they wouldn't get flagged down by YouTube, but that is what these fuckers just said. Oh, so alongside all of the other shit that Boo is supposedly curing and treating, let's add coronavirus onto the list. Yeah, good idea. And Mark agreed with it. He's like, absolutely. This is so dangerous. And you know why they're doing this? I honestly don't think that they believe this. I think they're doing it because they know it'll make money. And it makes no sense for Mark to do this because he can't even sell his product right now anyway. Or has he really just brainwashed himself enough to actually believe this? I don't know anything about this Scott guy, but he doesn't seem much smarter than Mark.
Yeah. So
I mean, it's not a fear for me because I know that technology. I mean,
yeah. You have a nanotechnology that can go inside that cell and explode it.
Hey, public service announcement. Viruses don't have cells. So are you trying to say that a cell that's been infected by the virus is gonna explode? Explode! Now, did you mean to use that word? Or are you literally thinking that as soon as this mud touches a cell in your body that's been infected with a virus, it's gonna explode? I mean, eventually you're just not gonna have any cells left if that's the point, right? And then you just cease to exist. And you know what's so concerning about this is that people believe this. Like, they absolutely do. I mean, I don't really go on Facebook anymore. The only time I'm ever on Facebook is to either share pictures of my children with, like, my family and close friends, or to research boo and paparazzi. That's pretty much it. But the reason for that, and I used to be a very regular Facebook user, I had to stop because shit's just started getting so fucking insane in this way. It was to the point where I was arguing with people day in and day out because the things they were spewing was bullshit. The shit they were sharing was bullshit. And it was stuff like this. Someone makes this shit up, right? Someone does. And then someone goes, it's on Facebook, so it must be true. Share. This shit is more infectious than COVID itself. That's what's fucking up humanity right now. These people have blood on their hands, okay? Mark St. Ange, you have blood on your hands. You have mud on your hands and blood on your hands. You got one handful of mud, one handful of blood, and you just gave it a little round of applause, didn't you? I almost don't want to press play. I'm just so mad. I'm so upset for humanity right now because I know there are people who believe this. The same people who would listen to this and be like, this is real, are the same people who are chugging horse paste to get rid of coronavirus. Like, these people exist, and they would hear this and go, yup, this is clearly a reputable podcast, and yup, fuck off.
Of course.
Amazing. I love it.
You know,
I love it.
And if I do that to the trillions of cells in the body, guess what? I'm creating health, right?
Yeah.
If you explode all the trillions of cells in your body, you will no longer have a body. You are creating the opposite of health. You are not creating, you are destroying. Kind of what you're doing there, huh?
Physical way you can become ill or ill with anything for that matter because there's no oxidative stress in the body.
That's
Brilliant.
right.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Wow.
But you need to take it, you know, and remember, we're all born with a certain health component, right? From our ancestors and our DNA, and then we either lose it or gain it, right?
Well, let me ask you that. Let's camp out there for a second. I was actually just thinking about that. So the Environmental Working Group, and this is something that's been coming up more and more for me as well, is looking into their research. The one thing I'm looking in, I haven't really found a lot of detail with them yet, is they're a nonprofit. So I always try to find out who is funding them. Yeah. But the Environmental Working Group says as infants are born, they're born with at least 200 or more what would be considered toxins or pollutants in the bloodstream through the placenta, through the mom.
That's correct.
As they're brought into this world.
Mark, don't fucking nod your head like you know that as a fact. This guy is always trying to claim he knows all this shit about female reproduction. And what are your credentials, Mark? You have none. Like, you have fucking none. And he's over here like, yup, 2,000. Like, what? I also don't believe that statistic, but maybe. That's one of those things that'd be like, I don't know, show me the proof and maybe I'd believe it. But like, considering the source I'm hearing it from right now, I call the biggest bullshit.
A quick follow-up there is, what about pre-parental planning? Have you worked with folks like that who are trying to make sure they optimize their physiology before giving birth?
You know who also does that? Planned Parenthood. Just saying.
Absolutely.
All that. So that whole paradigm, like, what does that look like for you?
Well, first of all, the traditional medicine, what did they have?
They have science for one, and like numbers and statistics and shit on their side. They have that.
You cut, burn, or you poison. That's the only tools they have, right?
Right.
So they poison somebody, or they give something, hormone therapy, or it's something from outside is going to cure you. Yeah. So when they have an internal problem, the hormonal imbalance, well, that's what you have. You know, I'm sure everybody knows how to make a baby. That's not a problem. But it's all the systemic functions in the body that you need to look. And right. So if you live in a toxic world, you've been eating certain foods, you take drugs on a daily basis for a long time, and they come to see me and they say, I need to get pregnant, or I want to give birth and I can't. Well, the first thing we need to do is detox, is cleanse, get rid of this.
He is literally saying that part of his job is to get people to stop taking the medications that their doctor has prescribed to them, so that then they may go have a child and birth that child into the world with the dumbest fucking stupid ass parents that could ever exist. Is that a little too harsh? No, I don't think so. We're talking about raising a child in this kind of environment. You want to talk about what's toxic? Bitch, that's toxic.
So that's where I take it from. And that's holistic. It's always been looking at the cause of the issue, not necessarily the symptoms. And been very successful at it doing that way.
We have a group for Healthcare 360 called the Best and Brightest of the 360 Nation on Facebook. And I was also reading into Shanna Swan, who's a PhD on phthalates and the type of chemicals that are in water bottles, and just that relationship, what that looks like. So it was a couple quick tips. Hey, did you know what a phthalate is? Here's a book on why fertility for women and sperm count for men is way, way down. Most people are led to believe that overpopulation, not enough resources, when actually the opposite is happening. We're at a stable point and our population is actually declining. Yes. At the same time.
There's a lot of factors that go into that, but I don't think I even have to even mention them. But this generation is not as well off to reproduce and give that child a good life. And I think this generation realizes that not everybody wants to have kids. Is it really that bad that some people just don't want to reproduce? I think that's a great thing. There's too many morons on this planet already. I'm looking at 2 of them in the face right now. Fuck.
This is an easy way to rid the body of, and I don't like using the word toxins because it's have a negative charge to it, but stuff that's not supposed to be there. That we were not designed with.
Waste material.
You mean the waste material that's in the landfill that's right next to the bog, Mark? Or are we just not going to talk about that?
Is supposedly being eliminated from your natural eliminating organs. You're supposed to do it naturally, but there's so much toxicity in the cell and less oxygen in the cell.
There's so much toxicity. Thank you, Mark.
Fulvic is a combination of all the minerals that the organic plants have produced and used while they were living. So this...
Yes, because humans are plants, and we all know we function the exact same way. Thank you, Mark. Wow, I never made that connection before. I guess fulvic acid is really good for humans, clearly because it's good for plants. Why don't we all just dig ourselves into a big old hole and bury ourselves in fertilizer? All you need to do to survive at that point is just drink a little rainwater. That's it, because we're all plants. What is your point, Mark? Your point makes no sense.
This stuff comes from over 1,500 plants. Now, They took the energy from the sun. They transformed that into nutrients from the soil. They took all the inorganic minerals and they transformed them into organics. They created their own phytohormones, their own fruits, their own stems, their own leaves. And in the fall, they die.
Okay, so by his logic so far, that we should all just die in the fall. Or that, like, I don't know, our limbs should fall off in the fall and then they'll grow back in the spring. It's okay. Dude, we're not plants, Mark.
They die, they fall into this bog and they decompose. So this humic coming from an organic source is the decomposing process for over 60,000 years. So this bog is over 60,000 years.
Therefore, you can safely extract all of it, and it'll just make more, right? Oh, and another 60,000 years, though, right? It's okay, Mark. If you keep eating your dirt, you'll be alive in 60,000 years. Because at this point, like, they might as well claim it's the fucking fountain of youth, right?
Now, the decomposing process is called humification. And when we extract the humic part, it's the humification of plants. So in this humic part of our product, you find all the 70 minerals in an organic structure that you need to sustain health, because all of the minerals in the periodic table are essential in our bodies too. Even lead, even mercury, even nickel, and there are what we call unspent energy. Because we when people say that, they look at the list and they say, oh, there's aluminum in your product. Oh my God, it's toxic. Yeah, aluminum.
You're literally sitting here defending mercury and lead and all these toxic materials in your dirt. But if you put those same exact elements into a vaccine, suddenly that's toxic, right? Holy shit.
And aluminum is toxic. But
Right.
aluminum coming from a trace mineral from a plant is not a spent energy. And you need aluminum in your digestive tract for digestion. So the mindset of looking at all these trace minerals is you have all the minerals also. So when I bring fulvic in the cell will take in all these minerals. It will take what it needs and it will disperse it all over the body.
Don't think that's how it works. Don't think that's how it works. One cell does not disperse something to every other part of the body. Like a skin cell is a skin cell. You're not going to find a skin cell in a place in your body that doesn't have skin. Do you see what I'm saying? I don't get it.
And I always say it starts at the mom, because you have kids who have ADHD, who are autistic, and all these autoimmune disorders on the side. But the mom has to take care of herself first. What does it look like? What are the reports coming back, the testimonials, signs and symptoms that are leading them to even investigate something like this? What are your stories there?
The biggest story for me is the menstrual cycles, the absence of menstrual cycle, the abundance menstrual cycle.
Right, because let's take this advice from Mark, who is a man, a mudman, a self-proclaimed mudman. But fuck all those OBGYNs out there, right? They don't know what they're talking about. They went to school for over a decade learning about just this shit. But fuck them. Mark knows the answers to every woman's problem. This is so predatory. It's like literally infuriating. It is to the point where it's like hard to make jokes about it because I'm literally that pissed off. And I know it's probably just going to get way worse.
Those are the biggest comebacks. Of course, if I can regulate hormones, reduce the hot flashes, get a menstrual cycle, a regular menstrual cycle.
I mean, is he trying to say that his fucking mud is hormone therapy? I'm sorry, I don't think your mud has any hormones in it at all. Nor can it, like, produce hormones. It's mud.
Good flow.
Good flow,
women
ew.
are happy. And with the fetal hormones from these plants who produce their own estrogen, well, you find it in fulvic. So just what happens is when you absorb this fulvic, you're actually regulating your hormonal cycle. So it's like taking in natural estrogen.
Yeah.
So that regulates your hormone system.
I don't think that's...
Now,
no.
aside from your ovaries, men, they have an increase in libido. We're
Libido.
going to stimulate the pancreas to create more insulin. So, everybody that has type 1, type 2 diabetes, liver problems, digestive problems, that can all be alleviated when it looks at hormonal imbalance. So for moms, when we talk about the biggest problem is hormonal imbalance, especially when they had children.
Yeah.
Especially if they're vaccinated.
Mm-hmm.
Oh! So now suddenly people who are vaccinated are more prone to have hormone issues. Oh, this is infuriating. And you know what? At this point, I don't blame any of you guys if you click off because you're so mad. I don't blame you because I'm about to fucking click off right now. Like, this is so infuriating.
And especially if they have, a bad diet. If we look at, food nutrition this is another subject. I mean, I can go on and on nutrition, but
yeah, because his answer to nutritional problems is literally just to eat his mud.
We have too much processed foods in our diets, and that's what I call anti-food. So if you're nourishing your body with anti-food, you're bound to have problems in your hormonal balance.
Well, let's dive in there a little bit. So go back to you talked about estrogen and hormones. So are you saying that it's regulating progesterone, which is one of the depleting minerals in the body or actually hormones in the body for women?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. How soon are you seeing those changes?
Within days.
Within days, really?
Within days, with the protocol of taking three doses a day and then bathing in fulvic.
Okay. All right.
You can bathe in it because the skin is the largest organ of the body. So
that's right.
This is so gross. As someone who has had miscarriages and has suffered issues with reproductive things and infertility, progesterone supplements are extremely expensive. I looked into them when I first found out I was pregnant with Griffin because I was coming out of 2 miscarriages and I didn't want this to happen again. So I was asking about, because I had heard that taking supplements can prevent miscarriage, sometimes early miscarriage miscarriages are because of, progesterone issues or whatever. So I was like, yo, can I just get some of that progesterone just to be sure? And she said, yeah, I mean, you can. I don't think you need it, but if you want, I can send it to the pharmacy, but it's $500 a month. And I said, damn, that is unaffordable. Now, his bag of boo is like $120, and you could probably go through a bag of that in a month, I'm assuming. This is disgusting. This is preying on women who have had reproductive issues. And hey, let me tell you what, I ended up having a full-term pregnancy after those 2 miscarriages, and I never drank that motherfucking mud, and I was on my antidepressants the whole time. Thanks, Mark. Also, I'm vaccinated. It's sick. It is fucking sick. Like I was saying, the cost of progesterone, that in and of itself is enough to make a mother be like, I gotta find something else. And then they're gonna hear about whatever the fuck Mark is talking about right now, and they're gonna go, you know what, that's cheaper than buying progesterone, because there are women who like straight up need progesterone in order to maintain their pregnancy, in order to keep their pregnancy. Like, it is a infertility treatment for a lot of women. What he's suggesting is you don't need those progesterone supplements. All you need to do is eat and bathe in my mud. You guys, this is actually upsetting. Like, this is so messed up to prey on women who all they want is to have a child. Hey Mark, if you're watching this, fuck you. Take this, stick it right up your whole asshole. This is why I drink while we're talking about boo at this point, because like otherwise I would be sobbing right now. I'm at least trying to make some jokes about this stuff, but there's really not much you can joke about because they're literally preying on women who suffer with infertility and hormonal issues. But I mean, when we're talking about progesterone, that goes into pregnancy a lot. It's sick. This is sick. This is fucking sick.
There's so many things happening when I do bathing. Balneotherapy, and that's where I learned that in Germany. I didn't invent this, but in Germany, the balneotherapy, the use of baths, is a very important component in holistic health. We don't do that anymore. I mean, they're building homes now without bathtubs in them. To me, it's terrible. But
to you, it's terrible because it's less people who are going to use your fucking mud to just like soak in. No bathtub, no mud bath. That's terrible. Yeah, it's terrible for your business, buddy. Not because that affects you on a personal level. Aside from the fact that you won't be making money off of those people. Well, you probably still will. All you have to do is tell them to eat it, right?
At least twice a week.
Okay, so this with the extraction process of what's outlying in the skin or close to the skin so it can be depleted from the body.
Skin is the largest organ, and if I raise the water temperature higher than the body temperature, fulvic is nanonized. So it has the ability to permeate into the epidermis, goes into the subcutaneous tissue, and goes into the bloodstream right away. And so you're getting many things happening in the tub. First thing that happens is when we absorb, it goes straight to the cell, creates more oxygen in the cell. But if I raise the water temperature, your body's still in the water and it needs energy to sustain the heat, right?
Right.
So where does it get the energy? Well, it goes into the stored fat cells and burns them off. So that's a side effect of losing weight, is taking them.
Oh, so now you're gonna lose weight if you take mud baths too, right? Okay, gotcha. Not only are you gonna be able to reproduce, no, you're also gonna lose weight and cure COVID.
Mud bath, but when I lose adipose tissue, I lose toxicity. But most of the toxicity lies in adipose tissue. And so I'm detoxing while I'm creating a healthy body. And at the same time, the fulvic goes into the bloodstream and goes directly to the hormones, stimulates the enzymatic functions, the hormonal productions. And within, 21 days of doing this 3-4 times a week, like women crave for it when they do it.
Wow, that's amazing. I'm going to move forward. You mentioned diabetes. Now, I want to break this out a little bit as well, because someone could argue, okay, well, if you eat well and you stop, I mean, we had Dr. Tom Cowan. I don't know if you know Dr. Tom Cowan. The greatest food advice I've ever heard from anyone.
Why viruses, including coronavirus, are not the cause of disease. Tell that to the people who are like, he didn't die from coronavirus, he died from pneumonia. It's like, yeah, where do you think he got that pneumonia from? This guy looks like a fucking nitwit. Wait, did you see that? It said, do germs really cause disease? But then they spelled cause wrong. To the people who take this stuff seriously, like, they're a certain kind of person, you know what I'm saying?
When the diabetes discussion comes up, someone could say, well, if I clean up my diet, if I do this, if I do that, okay, let's just say they are eating a clean diet or not an anti-diet like you referred to.
An anti-diet? That doesn't sound safe.
Combined with black oxygen and folic, right? What does that look like?
Well, you're stimulating the pancreas, so you're going to create systemic functions that don't really happen when you have a hyper or hypo pancreas. So it's going to create balance.
Mm-hmm.
So it works on the symptoms of the problem, but the cause is diet. So we always have to relate back to diet. Now, you
That's
can't
right.
cure diabetics or diabetes without looking at diet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's very, very important. And like,
yeah, no, people are just spending hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars per month on insulin when they could just change their diet. Remember what I said earlier about Mark having blood on his hands? I think he's got it all over his whole body at this point. Like, his hands, it just overflowed off of his hands and onto the rest of his body. Like, this is so sick. This is sick.
if there's a label on it, don't eat it. I mean, it's, my saying is, you eat living foods. Anything that's dead, don't eat it.
Yeah. No. What you take there then on meat? Because
but then he said that that fulvic and humic acid comes from the decomposition of things. So therefore, wouldn't you say it's dead? It is formed by things that are literally dead? Sir, you make no sense.
meat obviously is dead. So are you against eating meat, or just are you all plant?
I'm not against meat. You choose your meat. You're not going to go to McDonald's and say,
Okay.
Christ, that's cool.
Yeah.
But if you know a butcher, you know a farmer, you can, like I was a vegetarian for 8 years.
Mhm.
You got to be careful. I've studied that long-term in nutrition. I did it for a long time, and I was a vegetarian for 8 years. When I introduced meats back into my diet, I didn't eat it every day, but I chose the quality meats. And then that protein source was better for me than a vegetarian organic type protein, but it goes with the blood type. So A types, vegetarians all the way.
We just did an interview with a functional medicine doc. We talked about this protein, so meat protein. So breaking it down, is it free range? Is it grass fed, chicken? And now this, you're going to find this pretty funny. I find it hilarious every time. But we had a doctor on the show early on, and he does a certain procedure, but he didn't really believe in the blood type diet. And I said, look, that can't be true. It can't be true, because if you can smoke marijuana or take a drug therapy that you get from CVS, and it has an interaction in your body, why would food be any different? And I couldn't get past that point. Now, when I broke it down even further, for me personally, chicken is not very good. It causes that mucous membrane that in your throat, but grass-fed beef is excellent.
I learned from a chiropractor in Toronto, Dr. D'Adamo. He wrote a book called One Man's Food is Another Man's Poison.
Yeah, you should definitely listen to things that a chiropractor tells you, because they clearly know what's up.
So mom makes the meals and you eat all the same. Why is someone gaining weight, one staying the same? I remember my brother. We ate the same, but my brother always gained weight and I stayed skinny because he didn't have an O type. He had an A type. So it's different. So one man's food. So even in the family, some people have it's hard. I understand you're not going to do 6 different meals, but we have to, as adults, realize that we have our own metabolism, we have our own blood type. We have our own structure. We have our own health habits. And we need to eat what resonates with us.
Let me know in the comments, people who are obviously more well-versed in like medicine and nutrition and stuff than I am. Is there anything to this blood type diet thing? Because I feel like it, again, especially considering the source that it's coming from right now, sounds like quack science to me, but what do I fucking know? I don't know. Let me know if you know anything about it. I'll probably research it after I'm done filming this video, because considering the source, I'm like, yeah, this is probably not true.
Like pasta. I love pasta, but it doesn't resonate with my body.
Does pasta resonate with anyone's body? I'm pretty sure pasta is not necessarily good for anybody.
I don't eat it often. It's not in a regular diet. But when I go out and I know I'm going to feel sluggish, but I'm with friends and I like pasta, I'm going to have it. But I'm aware of what's going to happen. You see?
Right. So we talked about the moms. Let's talk about kids who have ADHD, who have autism spectrum disorders, different types of just what we consider today childhood illnesses. Any benefit there?
Yes.
Of course.
Children can absolutely take this product and have a very positive effect. Even some they put it in their baby bottle and they actually give it to their babies.
Do not put dirt in your child's bottle. Come on. I mean, listen, this isn't a surprise to me at this point. I know people are doing this. I'm pretty sure this is kind of why a lot of it started, is because someone put boo into their child's feeding tube or something like that. And then people called CPS on her, and then it was like this whole thing. Because yeah, why wouldn't you call CPS on that shit? But same thing goes for mixing it in with formula or some shit. Like, babies have a very specific diet, being breast milk or formula, and that has sustained infants for as long as humans have been alive. I mean, breast milk anyway. Formula is a sort of new-ish thing, I guess, in the grand scheme of things, but you understand my point. It is so unnecessary for a child to have your fucking fulvic acid mud dirt in their bottle. See, that's infuriating too, man. You cannot keep saying this shit, dude. This is so bad.
Oh, really?
Especially if when they were vaccinated. I mean, I don't believe my children were never.
Sure.
I was injured after my booster at 8 years old. I got polio when I was 8, and I was invalid for 6 months. And so,
wow.
And it's all caused by. And so for me, and so when I look at ADD and autism and all this, and I've even had parents come to me, coming and saying, what do I do with my child? Well, let's look at diet. Let's supplement him and don't get him. And contrary to my own, saying, they went out and got vaccinated. Then all of a sudden, autism and ADD and
this is so toxic. Again, you want to talk about what's fucking toxic? It's what's spewing out of this guy's pie hole. This is so dangerous. At this point, I've heard all I need to hear. He should be in fucking prison. He needs to be locked away, taken away from all forms of communication to the rest of the human race, because he is causing actual harm to people. You could say, hey, we should report this to Health Canada or whatever the fuck, but like, he's already on their radar. But I don't know how much they can really do. It's been so disproven with real science and like real factual information and evidence that vaccines do not cause autism. I shouldn't even have to say that out loud. We all know that at this point, right? But I don't choose to believe that. So you choose to believe the one fucking study that got debunked. The guy who wrote it got his medical license or whatever it was taken away from him. And like, there's just loads and loads of other papers and science and evidence to say that vaccines do not cause autism. But you're gonna choose to believe that one little piece of paper. It doesn't make any sense. That's the thing about science. You have to be able to replicate the results to say that something is factually true. What these guys are doing is just being like, well, there's a paper one time that said, so we're just not gonna fuck with it. We're just gonna eat dirt instead. I know, right? I know, Pop-Tart. It's unbelievable.
I'm not the one to say I told you so, but I they come back and I tell them, okay, let's detox. And then we chelate with products too. I mean, Fulvic is a chelator. So yeah, we can get great results with the side effects of that. But the nice thing about children is they have a better metabolism. It's quicker.
Yeah. And it's newer. It's newer.
So the detox or the cleansing mechanism in Fulvic is very, very quick.
Well, but then wouldn't you say that when they got the vaccine, it was processed faster, so you had a smaller amount of time to be able to detox it? Oh my God, these fucking people.
That's why, you can get great results with children. Now,
so I'm looking here, it removes toxin, heavy metals, pesticides. I'm assuming you're referring to glyphosate. Heavy metals, you're referring to past injections through the medium of how it goes from the body into the physiology transfer.
Oh, you know what? After I'm done filming this video, I'm definitely going to report this video because YouTube just recently came out with a thing where like if any video that is spreading vaccine misinformation, they just delete. So you know what? It didn't get picked up by the algorithm. It's all making sense to me now because this motherfucker is censoring out the word vaccine so that he doesn't get caught by the algorithm. You're gonna get caught by me, motherfucker. I hope your whole fucking channel gets taken down. All of this needs to go away. It needs needs to fucking go away. This is dangerous. What we are watching right now is fucking dangerous. And honestly, I don't know what I expected coming into this, but I really didn't think it was gonna be this bad. But oh, it is. I thought it was just gonna be Mark making a bunch of just dumb fucking Boo can do this and this and this. No, they're going all in on dangerous misinformation about just medicine in general.
And there's toxins would be from water source, food sourcing, different things like that.
And the body's own toxicity. So remember, the free radicals, spent minerals that are flowing in the body, you know, they stagnate and they create a sluggish organism. So yeah, and so. And you know, you're it's an intruder. It goes into your blood cell and goes into your protein, and it's an intruder. So any intruder will create, you know, reactions, and some of them is like in the form of ADD or autism or shaking or all the symptoms that we see, all the problems that we see.
Right.
So the chelation of fulvic is the key, because those molecules of fulvic will definitely chelate the heavy metals that are created by that.
Wow. Now, the next thing that popped in, anything with brain function to improve any brain function at all. You specifically mentioned here memory and mood.
Yeah, dementia.
Okay.
Alzheimer's.
Are you reversing some of the early stages, some of the symptoms?
We have living proof. My mother's 86 years old. She was diagnosed with dementia at 80. Wow. And she's 86 and still going strong.
You can live 6 years with dementia. Like, dementia isn't going to just straight up kill you in 30 days. You know what I mean? She's still going strong. Dementia can be a progressive disease over the course of years, if not decades. Like, he's acting like she was diagnosed with dementia 6 years ago, and it's like a miracle that she's still here. And it's like, what the fuck?
Her dementia is very, very light. She's controlled. She takes fulvic 3 times a day.
And I'm assuming that goes back to the reduction of the oxidative stress.
Yes.
Wow.
And of course, diet. I mean, it's very important. Like, she doesn't eat milk. She doesn't consume any milk products, any wheat products, no sugars. Very, very good diet. I follow her. I make sure that she sometimes doesn't like me because she likes the cookies. But
sure,
you know, it's 86 and. Hey, she just found a boyfriend. She fell in love. I'm just like ecstatic at her. I mean, he's just fantastic. And
wow.
From being diagnosed at 80. So,
what a story at 86. Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah, and it's my mother, so I'm biased, but you know, it's still, you know, she gave me life. She gave me the passion of this business and this health, and she worked in my spa until she was 78 years old. So I mean, you know, she just loves it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so great. That's a cool story.
If she was working in your spa for however long, isn't it odd that she even developed dementia in the first place, Mark? If she's been in this lifestyle for decades, why is it that she even has dementia? Oh, these people don't make any sense.
Going to brain function, I'm going to go to people who are in line with their chakra systems, higher energies.
Yes.
What are some of the stories there that you're hearing about where people are they able to get to the 7th chakra, get to light easier? What does that look like?
Look at that, I got goosebumps. The mud is energy. Remember, it comes from Mother Earth. And so the shamans in Peru and the shamans and the indigenous people here would tell me, if you wrap the people in mud, okay, it's like in your mother's womb.
Really? Wow.
And so some of these shamans would wrap patients in mud and then bring them on them, because you always want to go back into your mother's arms or your mother's womb, right? So a part of the therapy is to wrap them up and give them hugs in a sweat lodge and it was really creating that energy awareness from Mother Earth. So without, you know, being too out there, the frequency of mud is very, very high. Mm-hmm. So, you know, you have the delta, and then you got you know, the very low frequency.
Yeah.
And so the mud is the highest frequency. So whether you're wrapped in it, or you take it in, or you take a mud bath in it, you're raising that frequency level in your own body. Mm-hmm. And so when you raise that frequency, you can go into the ether. which is your root chakra, your crown chakra, and it was with everything that is omnipresent and present.
That's right.
This
That's
is
right.
where everything is created. This is where everything comes from. So people tell me, man, I got these ideas when I take the mud bath. Bingo, that's fantastic. Because that's what you're doing. You're opening up the crown chakra to the mind, which is mind spirit, right?
That's right.
And so if you're bathing in mud and you are doing meditation and even chanting from the root chakra up to your color codes, you're going to get an experience out of this world.
Sure. Oh, okay.
And we did those treatments in our spa. We had a shaman come in. We did the whole thing. We did the sweat lodge with the smudging, and then the mud bath, and then the chanting, and then you go back into the wraps, and then you meditate in the mud. And people would say their out of body experience. They saw themselves. They became creative.
Let me just say that I think what he's describing now really isn't a dangerous thing. Like, if you want to go fucking bathe in mud, like, you do you, okay? If that's what makes you happy, if you want to go sweat in some mud, if you want to go to a sweat lodge and chant, do you? That's fine. That being said, we know that's not where he's going with this. No. I don't think that this in and of itself is just inevitably just bad. It's what comes from his mouth about what happens after you experience these things that is really dangerous. But no, go bathe in some mud if you want. If that's what makes you happy, then fine.
They changed their lives, and the bonus is that it changes the frequency of the body. So all their pain went away, their symptoms went away. Wow. They got the answers they wanted from the spirit.
The spirit.
I love it.
Powerful. I mean, doing these types of treatments for me, we used to do them twice a year. We get all of our clients from all over the world, and they spend a week with us with a shaman. And then the last day was the epicenter, was like the epic, where everybody had that aha moment from the awareness. And a lot of people, knock on wood, they're not aware that you don't know what you don't know. But at the end, you become aware, and once you're aware, I mean, your life changes, right?
Yeah, that's funny that you just said that. That quite literally is my favorite comment of all time. You don't know what you don't know, and once you know, you can't unknow.
That's right.
That's it.
See, like, here's the thing about that saying that really rubs me the wrong way, because of all the fucking, like, misinformation that is floating around the internet right now. I mean, at this point, we've all seen it. We've all heard it, right? We all know what's out there. So it's like, I know, and I don't believe it. Yeah, I can't unknow it. I can't unknow the dumb shit that you people are spewing out of your buttholes right now, but yeah, I know it. But I also know it's not true. I guess the statement just really doesn't encapsulate anything. It's so vague, but yeah, meanwhile, these people just go spewing it out all over the place. It's like, no, I know exactly what you're saying, and I know what your logic is most of the time. Sometimes I just don't fucking get it because it's so out there, but like most of the time I'm like, okay, yeah, I see why you think that, but it's not true. It just doesn't make sense.
Wow.
I told you, and sometimes people when they came to me for treatments, and I tell you, this is what you need to do. I was even sometimes more energetic to change their lives than them. So we have to remember that, in the awareness of people, some people like their disease. They cling to it, right? They become...
that's their identity.
It becomes their identity. You can't change that.
Yeah, I really, really like anxiety and depression. I really, really like having uncontrollable anxiety attacks sometimes. I love that. I love it so much that that's who I am now. Who likes that shit? I certainly don't. I would love to not have to take a pill every day. I fucking wish. And I know, hey, you've never tried booze, so you don't know. No, I know that your dumbass mud is not going to do anything for me in my anxiety or my depression. But you know what does do something for it? Sertraline.
When you live low frequency all your life and you start getting that, you push it away. You push it back. So the best way to understand the frequency levels of your body is to take a mud bath. And you start with a low temperature water, and you raise the water temperature as you do it. So the hotter it is, the more awareness you have, because the more fulvic goes into your body, the more awareness, the more frequency.
Are you sure it's not because you're like cooking yourself alive and your body goes into like shock? And then suddenly you're like, oh yeah, I am aware of a lot of things because like my survival instincts are kicking in. I'm about to die. Like, are you sure that's not what it is?
I've seen patients cry and vomit and do all kinds of things in the tub.
Probably because their body is fucking freaking out.
That's where you discover themselves. That's why
If you vomit, you discover yourself. That's it.
like, I'm sick of myself, and they're sick, and you get rid of it.
Oh, that's what it is. I'm so sick of myself. Oh, suddenly I puked myself up and now I'm a new person. What are you saying, Mark? Could it possibly be because your body is in an extreme state and it's fucking freaking out and so it vomits because that's what your body does?
All of a sudden they're happy, they change. You see the body change. You actually see the physical body change after.
Yeah. Some of my practice, I can see an immediate physiological representation change right in front of me. So if it's whether it's hips or shoulders. And today, for example, I was just through, now this person was over on the west coast of Florida. I'm over on the east coast. And just through FaceTime, I was...
He's in Florida, everybody. It all makes sense now. There we go. Motherfuckers in Florida.
I noticed that their neck was, slightly moved. And I said, okay, well, look, I go, let's play. And for me, nothing's work. Work equals hard. Play equals fun. So everything, let's play. And we just started playing. We started going around and kind of messing around with the C-spine. And then all of a sudden it was boom. You saw the blood flow regulate. You saw the heart rate come down. And I go, how's that feel? They go, what you do? And I go, that's it. And they go, within like a second later, they go, oh my gosh. And I'm looking at it right there. And it was an immediate physiological change. Now, let me ask you this. So this is how I would do something. I would jump into tub water that's non-scalding, like right away. Is that okay to do? Is that safe, or should you build yourself up?
No, it's safe if somebody wants to do it. I mean, I always recommend doing it a full blown. I mean, and you're going to get the reaction you're going to get, and that's the reaction you need, right?
You're going to pass out. You're going to die of fucking heat exhaustion, and that's what you need. That's truly what you need. You need to have a life or death experience. You need to be on the brink of death, and then we're going to bring you back, and that's going to change your perspective on life. Holy shit. No, don't, you guys, hey, I'm going to put a disclaimer at the beginning of this video now at this point, but like, don't listen to anything these people are saying. Please don't.
I did a lot of assisted, because we did full submersible bath. So it was pure mud, heated at 120 degrees Fahrenheit. Mm-hmm. And we had a hat that water circulated. Then we had a thoracic area where the water circulated to keep the pressure down. But we were there in 10 minutes, then they'd pass out. I mean, they too much. So yeah, I mean, it's hardcore. I'm always that person. Some of them like to start slow, and it's just. I'm not that type. You want to detox, you want to cleanse, you want to change your life, do it right away.
Yeah. So I don't like protocols. I always ask the physiology what it needs, and it tells me what it needs. And there's always an introduction of every person really is different and based on just the chemistry. So it always goes back to function, structure, and chemistry. And function usually comes up first, then some structural usually, but most of it lies in the chemistry. So based on what the physiology is talking about, and again, everyone's different. So, but if someone's not seeing someone like myself or my partner, is there something you would promote first at a starting point? And I really do try to stay away from the word protocol, because you need to do this.
Yeah, and the average person is start slow. I mean, so we talk about 2.5 grams. It's 2,500 milligrams a day or dosage. And then, you can do it 3 times a day. Sometimes taking it even half the dosage, like 1.5 gram is a lot. Mm-hmm. Because when they have this, I call them the healing crisis, because you're getting the reaction. They call it adverse. No, you start having skin acne and you're going to the washroom more often. That's not adverse. That's excellent. But for them, if you're constipated and you go to the washroom once a week and all of a sudden you go twice a day, that's adverse. So you start slow, because you don't want to discourage them. And if you go, hardcore and you don't follow through, and I'm not there to follow them and support them, they quit. You don't want them to quit anyways. You want them long term. So you might as well start slow.
Yeah,
so
you want
we
their
recommend
money.
1 dosage a day and start and see how you feel. And sometimes I can tell, start on a weekend, because you're not working. You're not stressed with your boss. You can listen to your body more on weekends. And so
Mhm.
take it in the weekends, and then on Monday, you know what's going to happen, right?
That's a great point, Mark, because you talked about how do you feel, and we're not taught as young humans to respond to how we feel. What does it make me feel like? Is it heavy? Is it light?
That's actually kind of exactly what they're saying that you should be teaching your children. Like, you want to acknowledge their feelings. That's like parenting 101 right now. That's what all the experts are saying you should do, is acknowledge their feelings. Talk about why you feel this way. Why do you feel this way? Why are you sad? I know you're sad right now. Let's talk about it. Like, that kind of thing is really big in parenting. So for him to be like, as young children, we're not taught to acknowledge our feelings at all and talk about, it's like, no, actually you are, and you should be.
Everything I do is by feeling. Like, how do I feel after I eat something? How do I drink something if I don't sleep enough? Blah, 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 right, go down the line. And that's a really important point, especially, that was a great point they just made about starting on the weekend, so you're not stressed from work. Because most people say, okay, I'm going to do it first thing Monday, because they think of Monday as day one versus it's really Saturday.
Yeah. And my approach was always to start listening to your body. And
Mhm.
so what is it telling you? Like, do you have a headache? Where is it? When did it start? I mean, so write it down. And so you know the progress of the ailments. And so somebody that has, chronic pain, for example, and they take very aggressive medication, they start taking Fulvic, they're going to get less pain. And they still take the medication, but they can reduce it. And that also, you get the withdrawal syndrome from the medication too. So there's a lot of components in there. That's why you got to start slow.
Yeah.
If I was there and you'd spend a week with me, I'd be more aggressive.
He's literally just reiterating, like, you're gonna come to see me and we're gonna get you off of your medication. Yeah, that's really safe. Yeah, that's really something we should definitely be doing, especially someone who acknowledges withdrawal symptoms and stuff, and also admits that people who do his treatments just fucking pass out. It's like, oh my God.
Somebody came to my clinic for a cleanse, and they were there for 2 weeks. I mean, they would fast. They would only drink water. I mean, I was hardcore. I mean, I did, colonics. I did all that.
Yeah.
At home, I mean, you just start slow. So one a day. And then as you see, you can take more. Then you take 2 a day. So you take it. And the best way is in the morning when you get up in room temperature water. I mean, that starts the digestive process, and it wakes up your colon. It has, probiotics, and it refurbishes the intestinal flora also. So, it prepares the stomach for the whole day of being able to eat. There are certain protocols also. If you're taking it twice a day, always take it before a meal.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. That's simple as that. And then incorporate a mud bath. So I'm going to tell them, choose a day where it's your day. Put the kids to bed. Your husband's gone to play golf. Or you're going to take an hour and you're going to go into the tub and you're going to do the ritual. Put a nice candle, nice music, lay your no, that's
I love it.
Bring the spa concept in the privacy of your own home. You don't have to go to a spa. Just lay in your tub and just do no thing, nothing. And listen. What am I going to listen to? Well, you can listen to the music, but listen to what your body's telling you.
Right.
This is where the energy comes in, right? Mm-hmm. I know that, if I raise the awareness and you're listening to your body, and I have a problem in the heart, or I have a problem in digestion, or I have a problem in the root chakra, maybe I can deal with that. And then I come back and say, well, how do you feel? Well, I felt this energy at my lower, sacrum. I had this knot here, right here. Well, that's your heart chakra. Let's look at that. And then
We're right down the line. Wow, this is amazing.
I had a mother. She put her child in the tub, and the child was bathing in the mud, and she's doing the ritual. And the child was saying, "Mom, what's that around your head?" She was actually seeing auras.
Huh. Wow.
That was kind of cool.
Wow. So I want to go into this. I have a lot of biohackers, of people who just like to mess around with chemicals.
Yeah.
What have you seen that really works well, like good combinations in relationship to, like, let's say it's liposomal vitamin C's or different things of that nature, just to give an idea.
You mean to add with the Fulvic?
Yeah.
Sure. You can add all your multivitamins, but the problem is that there's vitamins in the Fulvic. I mean, you have vitamin B, vitamin C, a great group of vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin P, and then you have all your amino acids. That's all in fulvic. So
this is all coming in one shot for them. Well, I don't mean one shot that way, but in one dose with the fulvic.
No, I clearly don't mean one shot that way, because we don't believe in vaccines here. Oh my God.
Yeah, and so if you really want to increase the antioxidants, we'll take more vitamin C. You can do that. I mean, but and then if you have skin problems, whatever, you're going to add your vitamin D or folic acid to it. I mean, you can add to it, and it's not a problem. It won't contra affect the fulvic. As a matter of fact, it's going to help absorb all the other minerals, because sometimes a lot of these products are inorganic, so you're not absorbing 2 or 3%. So it's going to help the absorption process.
Wow, got it. All right.
I mean, you can mix it into your juicer. You can put it into your smoothie, your protein shake. I take fulvic 5, 6, 7 times a day. I mean,
you're giving me so many different ideas and where to test and how to approach. This is really great.
He takes fulvic acid 7 times a day? Dude. I'm sorry, what? This guy, at this point, he's just like eating handfuls of mud.
Really, really great. Mark, I don't want to hold you too much longer, but I always have 2 staple questions at the end. And well, actually, that's a lie. I'm going to ask you 3.
Yeah, this whole thing has been a lie.
Would you come back on the show?
Please don't.
I would like to go into some deep-seated definitions of itises or anything else that people are dealing with.
I would like to make some more hardcore medical claims with you if you'd like to come back on my show, Mark, please. Oh, I'm going to report this video and this channel so fucking hard.
That would be fun to really camp out there for an hour to go through. So I'd love to have you back.
My pleasure.
That would be great. Okay, so one of my first ending questions is, educated guy, you've 37 years of building this therapy, you're a practitioner. Where do you camp out for podcasts, audiobooks? Where do you do all your education?
I do it with brand partners. I have a product call every week, every Monday night.
Mm-hmm.
So we come on and I talk about a specific problem, like next week's going to be the immune system.
So the only people who are allowed to be educated by Mark at this point are brand partners in Boo. So you have to buy into their dumb shit if you want to learn anything about Boo. You can't learn about this shit and then decide to sign up. Is that what you're telling me? No informed decisions here. We don't do that here. You're gonna have to come into our community and find out for yourself. And then you're going to be shamed if you leave. It's like, wow.
So every week I talk about a different system. And then I'm writing my book, which is going to probably be published in January.
He's writing
I talk
a book.
about my 8 processes of what's the difference between health and sickness. And I talk about nutrition, awareness, everything we just talked about. It's going to be in the book.
Oh, fantastic.
It's like a handy 180-page read to give you a sense of what you need to take on to create health in your life, and that's it's going to be published. I've been working on it for so many years, but this is time. It's time to do it. So I spend about a day and a half every week just to write, and it's not easy because I get all the ideas at night. So what the hell do? I get up and I write at night.
That's okay.
And then of course, talks. I mean, of course, during COVID, I don't do many, but we do, talks on Zoom, but, and that's it. I don't do podcasts. I don't do anything else.
What podcasts do you listen to? And what audiobooks do you listen to?
I don't listen to any. I read them.
You read? Okay.
I read. I don't go.
You're a reader.
But only from other quack scientists and doctors, right? Not from the CDC or, anyone who's actually studied big pharma. Yeah, none of that. No, you don't read that. You specifically make sure you don't read that, right?
So, we live in home and how to have a workplace, a healthy workplace. Well, you got to check the environment. Where are your kids?
Yeah, you should probably always know where your kids are. That's maybe the only good advice he's given this whole time.
Life is movement,
Mm-hmm.
and everything changes. And you got to be open to changes. A lot of people don't want to change, or they want to go back to normal. It's never going to go back to where it was. We need to change. And so how to adapt that? So trying to learn and to accept the acceptance of change. That's not easy.
Yeah, it isn't easy. And a lot of people get stuck and they don't realize.
Butterfly. So, when you had an office and you had 12 employees, it was fun to chit chat. Well, I only chit chat on Zoom at 9:00 in the morning. I don't touch and feel anymore. I mean, as a therapist,
Don't touch anybody, especially your unvaccinated hands. Keep them far away from other people, please.
and so that change for me was a lot of work.
Yeah.
And so I get some books on how to change your workplace and how to change the way we do business, like for an online business. I went from manufacturers selling to stores to online.
Wow.
And all my business is online. I mean, I work out of my house.
But now the world is benefiting from that knowledge of yours.
Yes.
No, the world is not benefiting fucking at all. The world is getting stupider with every word that comes out of your mouth, Mark. And you, Scott. Yeah, I'm talking to you, Scott. Don't fucking look at me like that. God damn. These people are literally harming people, and they are harming the planet. They are harming humanity. He's fucking ripping mud out of bogs and destroying the ecosystem. Everything that this man does and stands for in his life is harmful. And that's all.
And it's kind of cool because
It's kind of cool.
it's all through technology, modern technology, that like Zoom. I mean, who knew about Zoom 2 years ago?
I know, right? Yeah, it was around, but it was like still up and coming.
We were using it for meetings. I mean,
Right.
Now we're using it for business.
Right? No kidding.
Yeah, this is
So
business.
ending question for you. You can leave the audience with any last words. The floor is yours.
Well, I can tell you that if you have it in your mind, you can have it in your hands. It's the same thing for your health. If you believe you can get healthy, you will be getting healthier.
That's right. Wow. Simple. Love it. Mark, I'm blown away. I really cannot wait. I'm gonna do some of my own hacking and mix some things around.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be in frequent communication with you, let you know what's going on. And
Perfect.
I just can't wait to share that with you. This was amazing. We really nailed a lot of key topic areas that I think are going to inspire a lot of people and help a lot of people at the same time. So I thank you for your time.
I'm very glad. Excellent. Thank you.
This is perfect. So everyone, thank you for listening. Another health episode of Healthcare 360. We'll see you for the next one. Take care.
You hopefully... Boom. What was that?
Amazing. So my wife ordered it. It still hasn't come in yet. We're waiting for it to come in. She ordered the powder and the tabs.
Oh, it ain't coming in.
And I just can't wait.
Yeah.
I just can't wait. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Try the mud bath.
The mud bath is...
You ain't getting shit, brother.
Is like
definitely... Okay.
I'm the mud bath. I'm the mud man. Say, what do you suggest? I made my name on a mud bath.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you bathe in the mud, it changes your life. When you understand what I just said about the awareness and what it does, it's unbelievable.
Yeah. Well, I don't think you have to convince my wife Michelle about that. She'll be all in. Me too.
Let me know how she feels.
I will. I can't wait.
All right.
Thanks, Mark. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Be good.
Bye.
Take care.
Yeah, guys, holy shit, what a doozy. Yeah, I'm just pissed off at this point. Black Oxygen Organics, fucking Mark, the CEO, is a whack job. He's a fucking quack. He needs to be taken down and thrown in jail. This is a danger to humanity. And with that being said, guys, let me know what you think. I know you already have, because I know that my audience is probably just as pissed off as I am right now. Like, I'm fucking pissed. But anyway... it's time to thank my patrons and my members. The list of people I'm about to read off here are my YouTube members and my patrons. They are my financial supporters. They get access to things like our private Discord server. I often like to give you guys early access to videos when I'm able to. We have a postcard club. Any of that sounds good to you, you can go to patreon.com/SavannahMarie, or you can click the link below this video. It says join, and you can join my YouTube members. So the biggest thank you in the whole wide world goes to Amanda Shannon, Elizabeth Wyatt, Nitty Dragon, Leanne, Molly Wasilewski, Raya Mew, Turd Ferguson, Alice W., Amanda Shannon, April Lindblom, Boris Geller, Casey Scraper, Katrina Rosemarick, Claire T., Danae Twitchell, Daniel Urena, E. Higgins, Erica Louder-Craddock, Jerry Duncan, Heidi Ha, Julia Wheeler, Kelly Creffield, Kim Cartwright, Laura Lynn Martin, Lizzie McQueen, Maddie Darley, Rachel McHenry, Samantha Jackson, Stephanie Hell, Tuesday the 13th, Lizzie Lyon, Jay Marie, Tiffany Brust, Auntie Lou, Fallon Lowry, Sabrina Franklin, and Julia Nieberdowski. And to the rest of my wonderful financial supporters, thanks for being here and being you. Also, thank you to Shaperman for sponsoring this video. If you have forgotten why I'm wearing this costume, why I'm looking super cute, that's why, because Shaperman is the shit. Click my link down below, get 20% off your order. Keep making waves, babes. I'll smell you all later. Mommy Tsunami, out.